welcome to the program. Who is in first tonight? Wow, that was like a tie. It actually came up. I wish I could show this. It came up, Julie Jankowicz and Jennifer Johnson are in together. So that is like a dead heat. I haven't seen it like that before. Hey, Kitty. Hey, Angela, Michelle. Good to have you with us. Oh, those donuts, Julie. Hey, Suzanne and MJ. Cheers. Hello, Augusta. From Augusta. Hey, Adele and Dazzle. How are you? Did we screw Dazzle up by listening to my webinar earlier, Adele? Was Dazzle messed up on the time? I know how time is important to our pets. Hey, Amy, good to have you with you. I hope you continue to recuperate well. Pat's with us and her peanut gallery. Albuquerque's in the house. Angie Hoolers is with us. Hey, Angie. Good to have MJ there with you, Suzanne. How is everybody doing this Thursday night? You have leftover donuts, Julie? What the heck? I like donuts. Hey, Barb Gallo, thanks for joining us tonight. I may have to go out and buy donuts. Vicky. Vicky's with us. Vicky's in my email tonight, too, I think. Good to have everybody on tonight. I was late tonight, Vicky. I have been moving from webinar to webinar today. I just got off my she overdid it, Adele. I just got off my President of the Parents Association webinar welcoming new parents to my daughter's, well, I can say alma mater now, right? I can say alma mater to her alma mater. So I was welcoming parents and comforting them, or let me say that. I'm giving the illusion that I gave them comfort during this webinar that I just did as a parent of a student. So we'll go with that. We'll let my ego think that. Hey, Jeff and Sylvia, great to have you with us. Krita, good to have you with us tonight. Friday, May 29th, Kitty, that is awesome. That is great news. Yeah, I had actually heard that earlier today, Julie, than Illinois. I don't remember where I heard that, but someone in Illinois told me that earlier. So this is not the first time that I am hearing that. So May 29th, because somebody else that I talked to was going to delay it till and not open till Monday. But I'm with you. Get the weekend. Hey, Jeff and Dana. Great to have you with us tonight. Sarah. Lindsay's with us. Hello, Lindsay. Yes, that's donut-worthy news, Julie. Yeah, I get that a lot, Adele. You know, it's, you know, that's not a big surprise to me. And Dazzle it doesn't like men anyway, so I get it. You know, our other dog Max had been sitting here after Cassandra went out. Cassandra was home to make sure I was home in time to do the webinar for the college. I did from home because I knew it was going to butt up against this, and I didn't want to be driving for it. And then she went back out, and Max sat there waiting for her, looking at Nana like she was chopped liver, and, well, we know what I am. Hey, Marcia, great to have you with us tonight. Good to have everybody with us. What are we grateful for this Thursday night? I know what my Illinois people are grateful for. Well, Julie's grateful for donuts and for finding out that they can open on the 29th of May. May! That is a wonderful thing. we're getting a lot of positive, people are frustrated in Massachusetts, but they are positive that we can at least do curbside next week. So that's something. They can at least pick up items they're purchasing. So we'll take that. We're going to do limited hours with that to do something. So we'll take that as a positive and a step in the right direction. And Julie had great sales today. Donuts, opening day announced, and great sales. Drop the mic. Call it a night. That is great news, Julie. Handyman help from your dad. You want to send him over, Kelly? I got stuff that needs fixing. I am not handy. Although I did repair one thing, and it hasn't fallen apart yet, but... hey, Karen, that's great. Yes, the Illinois people are happy tonight. It's again, the when. That helps a lot. The not knowing in Massachusetts is really hard. Lisa in Maryland is opening tomorrow. Woo woo! That is a good thing. That is very exciting, Lisa. I'm thrilled to hear that. Maryland's doing something different in each county or something, I think, because I'm getting different reports from different people in Maryland on what their state of opening is. So, but it sounds like most of Maryland's going to be able to be open by June 1st, which would be great. Tammy's opening next week. That's great. A lot of positive news here. A lot of positive news. And I love hearing that. I love getting these positive words. I've heard from so many of you today. I was just, working. I was trying to get my email down below 60 today, or my open messages below 60 in my open message folder. And I got it just below 60, so... Baltimore County, very nice. Going to the Big B. We're making progress, people. There is progress being made, and that is the important thing. That is what we're here to be excited about. It is forward progress. It's those little steps, okay? This didn't happen overnight, but we're getting back to some normal. That is great news, Pat. Good sales today for the start of the Memorial Day weekend sale. Yes, it is Memorial Day weekend, and a lot of people are having a hard time remembering that. And certainly, I don't know when the last time I gave my staff when we were closed on Memorial Day. I can't even. It has been a long time. Hey, Joanne, great to have you with us. Great to have you join us tonight, Joanne. So, yeah, that is a good thing. We were able to schedule socially distanced drinks with friends this weekend. So we do have that. Cocktail hour socially distanced with some friends at one point this weekend, which will be nice to be able to do. I ran into my barber today, and he's like, "You need a haircut." I'm like, "I know. This doesn't all just happen." But next week, Massachusetts can do haircuts, so that is a plus. Let's see what we got here today. Every night we start with our Good Morning, Good Night book. Our Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start the program every night. And tonight, let me find my glasses here. Hey, Edwin, how are you? Good morning. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Repeat. I can only imagine what the good night will be. What do we got going on here? Hey, Alicia, great to have you with us. Whoa. Oops. I just spilled scotch on my shirt. That is not a good start to this. Beauty retail gets a makeover to keep shoppers safe. Ulta Beauty and Sephora have begun reopening stores with a list of new rules in place to protect shoppers, including some of the specific to beauty retail. At Sephora, only commercially prepackaged samples will be available, and testers will be for display only. Party foul. Yes, well, that'll have Nana and her lab upset at me at what I got on here. Usually in that spot, it's coffee. Hey, Bonnie and Park are in the house, finally. Hey, welcome, Bonnie and Park. Great to have you with us tonight. Hopefully I answered all those questions, and I know Park wanted to buy a vowel, so... How is Dunkin' driving sales in the work-from-home era? Again, you got to be different, okay? So even Dunkin', something as simple as Dunkin' Donuts, okay, has to be different. Dunkin' has shifted gears during the pandemic that has slowed the chain's traditional morning coffee rush and introduced new products, including decorate-your-own donut kits to boost sales. About 94% of the chain's U.S. locations are open for takeout, delivery, and drive-thru, but all dining rooms remain closed. I miss the days of, remember, I know I'm not the only one in this group that remembers when you could go to Dunkin' and get a donut on a real dish. You know, they would put it on a plate, and you would get coffee in a real mug, and you could sit at the counter. I'm not so old that I'm the only one that remembers that. The Peanut Gallery here remembers it. The L Brands is going to close more than 300 stores in North America. Victoria's Secret will permanently shutter 251 namesake and pink stores in the U.S. and Canada this year. And Bath & Body Works will close 51 locations, the parent L Brands said. The company said it's still moving forward with a plan to establish Bath & Body Works as a separate, publicly traded company. Lowe's, our buddies at Lowe's are funding a 25... See, I don't remember that, Kelly, because I didn't get to a Krispy Kreme till I was older. They came north, and, you know, we got to experience Krispy Kreme, and then they all closed up north, and so we don't have that. But I do like a good Krispy Kreme. When I'm south, we definitely know how to find the hot light. So it is something we definitely partake in when we are south. Nothing beats the original glaze, just saying. I would be in trouble, Kelly, at a Krispy Kreme. I would like go under the fountain of glaze and just be like that if I worked at a Krispy Kreme. Lowe's, the home improvement chain, is funding $25 million in grants to help minority businesses reopen. And in addition to doing that, okay, putting this grant program together, okay, and funding it, yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry now, Kelly. In addition to doing that, Lowe's putting that together, Lowe's did a CEO challenge, and he's challenging other CEOs to do their part and use their company's fortunes to fund and create grant programs for minorities and for just anybody, for small business, because that is the backbone of all this. Backbone of the American economy. Hey, Lisa, how are you? We're talking donuts. What is a good donut in Alaska? Or is donuts not a big thing in Alaska? Kohls CEO says this is the low point of 2020 as margins take a hit from the coronavirus. I love that. You know why I love that? Not because this is the low, but because Kohls is seeing this as the bottom, that things only go up from here. Up from here. Okay? So, Michelle Gass, who employs Ellen's daughter, let's not forget that. She employs Ellen's daughter. I mean, not Ellen's daughter, Ellen's niece, excuse me. Not Ellen's daughter, Ellen's niece. Excuse me, Ellen Didion's niece. Anticipates that the worst... Okay, so now we're going to have to go on a resale tour. So I'm going to have to take this on a resale tour and a best donut of resale as I go across the country. I think that is part of my tour, is donuts and resale, DNR, okay? It's funny, you know, when we travel across the country, a lot of you know we drive to when, you know, wherever conference is and things a lot of times. We have an app, Peanut Gallery has an app on her phone for places that were on food TV shows. So restaurants and different things, so that we don't hit the same old chains and stuff. And we see different places. But a good donut is that, there's something special about that. You're going to buy me donuts, Bonnie? Well, hey, I'm coming down. Between you buying me donuts and Park buying me scotch, you know, we're going to be all set. And a stop at Resale Island. Kelly, you're killing me. Rick has joined us tonight. Okay? But Kohls, so this is really important. So the big guys, this is the big guy view of this, okay, is that we've hit the low point. Kohls net sales tanked 43.5% during the period that ended May 2nd. And their hope is that this is just an extraordinary event. Kohls digital sales accelerated during the quarter, rising 24%. And digital sales during the first quarter represented about 45% of total sales compared to 21% a year ago. Hey, I'm all down with that too, Lisa. Fresh fish and king crab. It's funny. I had dinner at one conference with Kathleen Hill, who owns Songus Threads in Sitka, Alaska. Her store's in Sitka. And her husband's a fisherman, and by trade. And, you know, we were San Antonio, I think he came to. And we were, and the waiter tried to talk about the fish. It was all downhill from him. He couldn't talk fish the way Kathleen's husband, John, could talk fish. It was great. Okay, so now we've got donuts, scotch, and old fashions on the dock. Bring Cassandra. Okay, this is sounding better, Bonnie. You make a compelling argument. I'm getting crab cakes, though, in Maryland. So we're going to be able to drive and eat our way through.
We're going everywhere.
Huh?
Sounds like we're going everywhere.
It sounds like we are going everywhere. And Brad Hobbs is joining us from Tennessee. We'll have to go there, too. I like Tennessee. Lots of nice people in Tennessee. But, so, you know, yes, their sales and everything increased shipping costs and amplified promotions to move inventory. Margins fell, were almost cut in half from a year ago. And shipping costs lowered gross margins by 250 basis points. Oh, I like Tennessee, Brad. You like Tennessee. And you have Krispy Kreme, so that's good there. And you have lots of good food and great people. And, you know, this is what Michelle says about things right now. About 50% of Kohls' more than 1,100 locations are already open. And the company said that those stores have been doing roughly 50 to 60% of the productivity that Kohls would typically see this time of year, which is in the 60 to 75% range that I've said on average happens. And she says there are customers in our stores and we're happy about it. That is important stuff there, people. So lots of good news, because she's talking about the bottom. Fear of danger is 10,000 times more terrifying than the danger itself. Isn't that true? Our friends at Home Depot. We talked about Lowe's earlier. Let's talk about Home Depot for a second. Home Depot's online engagement skyrockets, but so do their operating costs. Their operating costs are through the roof because doing all this one-off curbside pickup, this one-off item shipping it, doing all these extraneous things to get the sales out the door costs a lot of money. Okay, it is not easy or simple, to do that and to do it cost effectively, okay? When you have stores that, like Home Depot, 100,000 square feet, 70,000 square feet, 150,000 square feet, okay? That is stack it high and let it fly type stores, okay? You stack it high. It's not about how well you merchandise it. It's stack it high, let it fly, okay? And so when you have to go pull all that, and you have to have the staff to do that, and you have to keep distancing, and you have to do all those other things, that costs a lot of money. So, yes, Home Depot sales are up on the top line, but when you take into account they had nearly $1 billion in extra expenses. Nearly $1 billion in extra expenses. I mean, that's just freaking crazy, okay, in the amount, but it's about being here to be here another day. Hey, Karen, how are you? You and all your renovations. Vina joined us late, too. Maybe Karen and Vina were having a party together. Was there donuts? People want to know. I never had donuts with Karen. I'm trying to think, did I have donut? I had a milkshake with Vina. Remember having a milkshake with Vina. I had beer with Karen. Coffee with Karen. Bagel with lox with Karen? I don't know. I'm digressing on food here, people. The good thing, the peanut gallery is working on dinner. Yes, beer is good. See, I don't just do scotch. I'm flexible based on the environment that I'm in. Scotch, a martini, an old-fashioned, when I'm on the dock. Beer in Newfoundland, milkshakes in Indiana. This is all good. Although I drank free at the hotel I was at that I stayed at with Vina, because that's a whole nother story. Why the hotel felt guilty and kept on giving me drinks for free. That's about that. We talked about that. The Mall of America! Mall of America. We were there a couple of years ago for NART's annual conference. Okay? NART's annual conference was in Minnesota. Minnesota. Okay? And many of you traveled. Tamika joining us tonight live. Usually catches the replay, but is catching us partially live tonight. Thank you for joining us. The Mall of America is the largest U.S. shopping center. Okay, but they have, and I talked about this the other night, they were looking for money from Minnesota to pony up some money. And now it's a little more clear why they would like Minnesota to pony up some money. So if you're concerned about your own bills, or you're concerned about your own obligations, Mall of America has missed its last 2 months of mortgage payments. Okay? And which just shows the latest sign of the devastating impact of the pandemic. The Mall of America has a $1.4 billion mortgage. $1.4 billion! That B word again, okay? You know, that B word. So, you know, they missed both their April and May payments, and they've notified, and I know that you guys will not feel bad for the master servicer. There are multiple banks that hold that mortgage, okay, that $1.4 billion mortgage. But go ahead, take a guess who the number one bank is in line on that mortgage. Okay, any guesses on who the number one bank is and the overall servicer of the mortgage, who they had to notify that they're under hardship because of COVID? Any guesses on who that bank is? Yes, Jennifer. Boom. First guess out. Wells Fargo is the master servicer on the Mall of America's mortgage. So Wells Fargo has not gotten their payments 2 months in a row. Wells Fargo has not. And, there's 5.6 million square feet of mall there. Okay, and they've been closed since March 17th. And they plan to begin their reopening on June 1st, starting with retailers, followed later by food services and attractions, such as the Mega Mall's aquarium, cinema, miniature golf course, and indoor theme park. Yeah, nobody's feeling bad for Wells Fargo in this. Reopening a building the size of Mall America is no small task, but we're confident taking the necessary time to reopen will help us create the safest environment possible. And keep in mind, yes, what's their monthly payment? I didn't actually do the math on that or figure that out. I just laughed really hard when I saw Wells Fargo was first. They also own the family that control this is also own the West Edmonton Mall in Canada, in their Canadian hometown, and which is 5.3 million square feet, so just a little smaller. And they own that American Dream Mall in New Jersey that was set to really get going here this spring, and that is on life support again. In other news, a former GM plant in Wilmington, Delaware, is creating more than 1,000 full-time jobs as an Amazon distribution center. So a place where we used to build cars in Delaware will become, that closed in 2009 and was demolished in 2019, is building Amazon's new facility. Almost over 820,000 square feet. So, bringing life and jobs back to the area. So Amazon is doing some good stuff there too. It's not just old big bad Amazon. All right. That is the highlights of the news today. Ooh, my watch died. I'm not getting credit today. My battery is pooped out here tonight. So I don't even know what time is it. How am I doing on time, Peanut Gallery? 8:40. Oh my, it's 8:40 already. All right. So in other news, in your questions today, so the biggest question of the day is brought to you by Plan B. Plan B is the plan you go to when Plan A just doesn't work out. But you know what? If Plan A doesn't work out, there are 25 more letters of the alphabet. I'm just saying. That is a truism. There. Yeah, they're going to do something with the PPP, Jeff. I'm not sure when. And for some of you, again, my goal is to help you get the money spent, okay, on approved expenses. They're going to do something with the PPP, Jeff. In my congressional wranglings today, there's everything up to 24 weeks for the PPP and down to, okay, actual legitimate proposal, not one that I am betting the farm on, okay, not one that I would go bet the farm on, but one of the proposals out there is PPPs under $250,000 should just be forgiven automatically. Okay, and there should be no forgiveness calculation. That is actually one of the legitimate proposals that's being discussed. I don't expect that to happen, but it is a legitimate proposal being discussed, and part of it is based on that. That is the intent of the law, that helping small businesses survive, $250,000, and then there's people arguing that it should be $1 million. But, part of it is, part of where they came up with that number, okay, is in the last in the current round of the PPP, as the amount of small loans increased, so the amount in the current PPP, small loans, okay, really ones under 100,000 and under 75,000 and 50,000 really took off in this last round. And so part of that is the administrative cost, okay, on the banks and on the SBA and everybody else to administer forgiveness and do the calculations and verify the math, okay, it's almost easier to just forgive all those than put everybody through that and the labor and time involved in that. And it's more important about getting people back to work. Now, why I don't believe that'll actually happen is because the congressional watchdogs, you know, always point to the exceptions, not the rule. Most people are generally honest. Most people are generally good about this. Most people applied for these things with honest and good intentions. There are people that didn't, okay? And those are held out as the example of why you shouldn't and why you need to audit every one of these and look at and actually go through the paperwork on every one of them. And I'm all for you don't make a policy because of an incident, okay? You deal with the incident, you deal with the problems, you deal with the people that commit fraud. And I've said that all along, is people that commit fraud in this, a couple of years from now, you're going to hear all about them all over the news. It's going to be a thing every night. 5 more breaking news. 5 people caught committing fraud on their PPP applications just when small business needed the money the most. That will be the headline. Multiple nights. You'll hear it constantly. Another, you know, it'll be like the college admission scandal, okay? But, so that's why I don't think that one will get as much praise, but I think there'll be extensions to the amount of time. So the two things that I think will happen is I think the amount of time that people will have to spend the PPP will increase, okay, in weeks. And I think the amount of money that you will be able to spend, the percentage that you'll be able to spend on things that aren't payroll will also increase. But that hasn't happened yet. Hey, Anita, good evening to you in Georgia there. I got Georgia on my mind. So we have to play with the rules as they exist today. I'm hopeful and I'm advocating and I am talking constantly with people. It is how I spend my day is doing that. But we work with the rules that we have. So let's continue to do so while we hope for better options. So one of the biggest... Excuse me, I got to switch to the water for a second. So one of the biggest things that comes up... Yes, Lisa Hudson, you can use the 20%, because what is Neil's rule? 80% towards payroll, 20% towards other things. Yes, a car lease that the business pays for are allowed expenses. So that is completely legitimate. That was clarified in a recent update, and I think I covered it last night, but I lose track of the days. So one of the biggest questions of the day regarding the PPP that I have gotten is, what is my PPP start date? When do my 8 weeks start? Well, I'm not going to put that one on you guys. I'm going to answer that one because it's been the most common question in the last 48 hours. Okay, so the PPP start date is one of 2 time periods, and the choice is yours. Your choice. Not your banker's choice, not your accountant's choice, not your payroll company's choice, not the peanut gallery's choice. Your choice. Huh? Okay, I'm getting called rude. But it is your choice. I'm empowering you because I believe in you. Your PPP start date. Julie listens to me in between eating donuts. Yes. Huh? Because the peanut gallery says she knows the answer too. Okay? And here I think I just talked to myself. I look pretty on the screen sometimes. Okay, so the PPP start date is either the date you got the funds, okay, they actually hit your bank account, okay, I'm having a reasonably good hair day here, okay, the date that it hit your bank account, okay, or the first day of your next pay period, the day that your payroll period starts, the day that people start earning money towards their next check. Okay, whichever date you choose. So that is the starting date on the 8 weeks. That has been the number one question in the last 48 hours. Okay, besides Park Kallenberg wanting me to have a Vanna thing behind me and be able to turn letters. The peanut gallery really laughed at that. I guess she didn't know that you had asked that, Park. If I could have a board behind me turning letters. The things you guys think up is really kind of comical. But that has been the number one question. So, your PPP start date, day the money lands in your account, okay, and this is for the 8-week period, or the date of your first pay period, of your next pay period, okay. The other question has been about, when do I have to spend the money? Now Vina wants a Vanna board behind her. Guess the board. Guess the price. Huh. Well, Bonnie, you've been all up in the air on dates, so don't even get... I responded to everything of yours in my emails to try to reduce my emails tonight in my message box. I think I hit all of your and Park's emails tonight. I may have missed something, and I'm sure you'll let me know if I did. The other question is, when does the 8 weeks end, or the 8 weeks ends on that day, okay, 8 weeks from whichever your start date is. The other problem is that your payroll needs to come out, okay, within that 8 weeks. It's not accrued, so it's not like, okay, my payroll period ends on the last day of the 8 weeks, and I would write the checks the following week. Your money needs to come out of your account. The transaction has to come out of your account, or the checks have to be dated. The checks have to be dated on that date. So that is key importance, and for many of us, that will require, to make all the numbers work, it may require an extra payroll period where you cut checks early. If you're doing checks every other week, you may cut checks early just to get those that payroll in there. But those are the biggest questions I've gotten in the last 48 hours on the PPP. Great question, Kitty. Do the employees have to cash the checks before the date? No, but the checks have to be dated that date. Okay? It would be nice if they were out of the account, but that does not have to be the case. I have most of my employees are direct deposit, but a couple of them still get a check, and that's fine. And as long as they are dated by that date, you are fine. Okay, so, and that is clearly spelled out in the regulations, so that the transaction out of your account... Well, I don't know. Well, your bank was fuddy-duddy with that. And I remember, Bonnie, when we were first talking about it, that your bank was... And then all of a sudden you woke up one morning and the money was there. I just don't remember what the date was. The only other variance you would have to that, Bonnie, is if your loan docs set a different date. But my guess is your loan documents actually might even say an earlier date, not a later date. Would be my guess. I have been... There is this information out there, Lisa. I've already posted the forgiveness thing. Sometime in the next 2 weeks, I have promised I will go through PPP forgiveness line by line. I have to get to a moderately slow point in my day. I can't do it on a day where I've had such intensity. So I'm not sure what day that will be, but I will post in advance on the night that I'm going to do line by line. And when we recopy that video, we will highlight it. We will put stars, dancing things on it, do what diddy-diddy-dum diddy-do. We will do all of that when we do our line by line PPP forgiveness. Sometime in the next 2 weeks. I promise you I will do that. And I believe you are on my call list too, Lisa. I lose track of who's on my call list, but my call list is big. 60-something right now, but we'll knock it down. We will knock it down over the next few days. It's a holiday weekend, which slows things. The incoming slows down as I head into the weekend typically, so I'm able to catch up. And I do call everybody back. Everybody back. Even Bonnie and Park I call back. So that is the highlight of the PPP tonight. That has been the most important thing you guys have been talking about or asking about. Again, I answer your questions when you ask them. I take them via email is the best way to reach me. Email is always the best way to reach me because I'm able to coordinate and stack them. Hey, Ellen joined us. Ellen and Mike in Delaware tonight have joined us. But email me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com is the best way to reach me because I can keep it all organized and coordinated and I make sure I get back to you. When you text me, my text list is like this. It's like, it is like a Better Than Before receipt from her dollar sale. It is huge. And I can't keep up. I lose track of the texts. I lose track of the Facebook messages because I get so many people message me there. I can't queue them and keep track of them. But I do call everybody back. And Bonnie is trying to tempt me with drinks on the dock. Excuse me, not on the deck this weekend. I will call you this weekend. Overall, it was a great day. I think I inspired future college parents tonight just before this call, so we'll see. Either I did something for enrollment or I killed their enrollment. I told my true story about college enrollment, okay? One of my true college stories is that for years, and this is a true story, okay? All the stories I tell are true. Okay, I just am not creative enough to make them up. One of my college stories that I tell incoming parents and who are afraid to send their kids off to school, want to keep them home, whatever, I'm like, one of the stories that is true is for years I have thought our electric bill at home, okay, and you are here in my home tonight, has been outrageous because my mother-in-law, Nana, okay, who's part of the peanut gallery, walks through the house most of the year with a portable heater, a portable electric heater, and she turns it on. We could have the air conditioning on, we could have, it could be 100 degrees in here, she walks around with the heater, plugs it in wherever she goes. Okay, I swear, okay, I mean, I've got the heat on, I've got it turned up, but this portable electric heater, I swear, for years and years, that's why our electric bill has been gargantuan. Then I sent my child off to college. And my electric bill dropped like a rock. I mean, like I've never seen, I literally looked back in the computer and at the time, let's see, we've been in this house 15 years now. I mean, I actually looked at all the time that we lived in Connecticut, which we've been 20 years in Connecticut now. I looked at the electric bills and I sorted them by dollar figure. And never found an amount that low. And I'm like, there's something wrong. Next month it'll catch up with us. They'll have a correction. And the next month was even lower. Okay? And I realized my child ran up our huge electric bill. I can pay for college with the savings on electricity. So send your kid to college was my message. And hopefully parents understood that tonight. Among my many other messages. We'll see if I get invited back again. I was told I have a 3-year term as president of the Parents Association. What was that, Peanut Gallery?
3 years?
That's what admissions told me tonight. I have 3 more years on my term. Your child has graduated. They even did a little dance, celebrated. Congratulations, you have a graduate. But your term is for 3 more years because of the pandemic. Whatever. All I know is I didn't get my normally for doing these college things, I get a chicken dinner. I did not get a chicken dinner. They told me they were sending me chicken nuggets. Okay, but I still have not seen DoorDash show up at my door. It's partly because I live in the country and DoorDash doesn't know where the country is. Hey, I am going to be back here tomorrow night, live at 8 o'clock Eastern. Fresno's in the house. All right. That's a true story, Julie. You know, I don't know, Sylvia. You'd think these colleges are smart businesses. I gotta think it's baked into the price somewhere. They know what we don't. Sylvia, I mean, all these kids with all their devices and everything, it gets ridiculous. I would not want to see the college electric bill. But I will be back here live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern. 8 o'clock Eastern, I will be back live here. This video and all the information, everything I talk about, is copied over the next day to narts.org/resalestrong. narts.org/resalestrong. Oh, Vina, you need a youngin' at home with all the electrical devices, all the tablets and computers and all the other things that they plug in. I have no idea. I don't want to know. As a parent, you're a parent. You know, there's things you just don't want to know. It's easier to write the check. But I will be back here tomorrow night. All the things I talk about, including the videos, are on narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. So you can share them with all your friends in business. I added physical therapists to my list of businesses this week that I've talked to. Hair salons I've talked to, restaurants, window washers, boutique hotels. What else have I talked to? A bunch of stuff. Doesn't matter. I'll talk to anybody because we're about keeping everybody in business. We're about getting everybody to the other side. Okay, so share this information with your friends and neighbors that are in business because we want to keep everybody in business on the other side. We start every day and night, with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is what is helping us get us through this. For those of you that were not here at the top of the program, our good morning tonight was, good morning, take care of each other, take care of yourself, repeat. Our good night tonight is, good night, take care of each other, take care of yourself, repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party. I do like a drink on the dock. I do like a good donut, okay? But I will be back here again tomorrow night with you at 8 o'clock Eastern because you, but most importantly, you